graphics-wise, definitely looks like the Xbox Series X technically can beat the PlayStation 5. But as far as what I've actually seen, when it comes to the games that are already out for PlayStation 5, when it comes to the loading time on PlayStation 5 and navigating through the UI and playing different games, compared to what I've seen on the Series X, which is not very much, it's just no comparison right now, because the games that I've seen so far on PlayStation are beautiful and they're so clearly next gen. Like, they're so clearly like, okay, this is new. Like, this is, the load times are new, the ray tracing and the lighting and the reflections are new. So everything about the PlayStation 5 content just looks new. Like, it's not like anything I've seen before. All right, I'll get back to that in a little bit. Hello, and welcome to KromeWorld. I'm Chrome, and this is where we share gaming clips and streaming tips every week. On this week's vlog, I'm going to talk a little bit of next-gen console conversation. I'm going to discuss why I'm going with PlayStation 5 compared to the Xbox Series X, as well as why I'm deciding to wait a little bit to purchase the PlayStation 5 as opposed to, being one of those first to own it, especially with my streaming channel. I'm sure there's a little bit of benefit to maybe be one of the first to be playing on PlayStation 5 and showing it off. And I do hope to still get on it somewhat early, hopefully by the holiday time or so. But basically there was no big headline game that I needed to play right away. I mean, Spider-Man Miles Morales looks amazing, don't get me wrong. I look forward to playing the redone Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. They're gonna be awesome. But aside from that, I'm just not really that big into some of the other titles that have come out for it. So I don't feel the big push to get a PlayStation 5 right away. But I do think it looks amazing, and I think the lack of load times, or hardly any load times, is going to be a huge advantage, and it's going to really set the trend for the next generation. I think it's going to be a matter of both Xbox and PC essentially trying to catch up to that PlayStation 5 SSD. Having no load times, at least based on the videos I've seen, there's next to no load times. And I just think that's going to set the bar fairly high. And it's going to be a matter of everyone trying to minimize load times while also obviously improving the graphics, improving the ray tracing and lighting, and the overall immersion and realism that you're going to get on the next gen. It's going to be amazing. I'm also looking forward to seeing what they do in the VR space. I don't yet have a VR headset, but I've been talking about getting one for almost 2 years now, but I've just kind of waited because the technology, I feel like it's not quite at that amazing place, because the graphics themselves are still, 1080p and not super impressive, but still fairly immersive. But I know the next gen VR and even the next wave of PC VR ability is pretty impressive stuff, and I do look forward to getting into that hopefully next year. And I think I'm going to make some improvements to my channel in line with that as well. So more to look forward to. But before I do that, and the biggest reason that I've waited to get a PlayStation 5 and haven't pre-ordered one or plan to have one on day one, is because I am also building a PC that is going to be both a streaming and gaming PC. And it's been keeping me pretty busy, just doing a lot of research, trying to go piece by piece because, well, for a variety of reasons, but it's been kind of fun. There's just so much new technology out there that I kind of wanted to keep my options open. So that's where I'm at right now with the PlayStation 5. But as far as why I would go with the PlayStation 5 over the Xbox Series X, I mean, aside from the obvious, I'm kind of a PlayStation fan. I've been playing PlayStation since I was 13 years old, and I've really never been a huge Xbox person since the first Xbox came out. And the first Xbox definitely blew PlayStation out of the water as far as graphics and a lot of little things, but I've just always been a PlayStation fan myself. And I feel that even this generation, on paper, the Xbox Series X is looking at least slightly better on the graphics side. I think the SSD hardware still got the Xbox beat in the PlayStation department. But graphics-wise, definitely looks like the Xbox Series X technically can beat the PlayStation 5. But as far as what I've actually seen, when it comes to the games that are already out for PlayStation 5, when it comes to the loading time on PlayStation 5 and navigating through the UI and playing different games, compared to what I've seen on the Series X, which is not very much, it's just no comparison right now, because the games that I've seen so far on PlayStation are beautiful and they're so clearly next gen. Like they're so clearly like, okay, this is new. Like this is, the load times are new, the ray tracing and the lighting and the reflections are new. So everything about the PlayStation 5 content just looks new. Like it's not like anything I've seen before. Whereas so far on the Series X side, I just can't quite say the same. I know that the games that are on Series X and PC, and they've shown some of them in the higher end quality actually on PC. But even then, it's like, still just looks like a really high quality PC game. I don't know that it looks like a next gen console game. So I'm curious to see where the Xbox Series X goes with their actual game selection and how next gen their content looks, because there just hasn't been that much kind of gameplay videos out there. So maybe I'm wrong and they do have some really cool next gen stuff out there already that I just haven't seen yet. And I look forward to seeing that. I know I have at least one friend who's going to be going with the Series X over the PlayStation 5, at least to begin with. So hopefully I'll get a chance to try that out. And definitely still looking forward to getting that PlayStation 5. As I said, hopefully by the holiday time, but not a huge rush. And I'm definitely working on that PC first. And I want to have my video studio, YouTube studio. This is the beginnings of it, but it's going to be much improved. I want to have that all done before I even think about buying my PlayStation 5. So, and apparently, according to Sony themselves, they are anticipating running out of stock for Christmas. So, I mean, it's a good problem to have. I don't know that Xbox is going to have the same problem, but that's pretty crazy. So we'll see. I mean, I was hoping maybe Boxing Day, maybe there's some kind of deal. I kind of doubt it, but maybe they do like a bundle where you get a sale on a game or something like that, or an extra controller half off or something. I don't know. We'll see. But that's kind of what I'm aiming towards. And if not, in the new year even, is not going to be the end of the world. So, but I'm definitely in the PlayStation 5 camp, no question. It really was never really a question for me, for the main reason that I've just a huge PlayStation fan, and I have high confidence in the game catalog and the hardware quality, and I just want to port my whole gaming identity over from my PlayStation 4 to my PlayStation 5. I honestly just never even considered getting an Xbox for that main reason. I have so much confidence in the quality of PlayStation, and I just love what I've built already on PlayStation, that the idea of going to Xbox for nothing, because I don't see any game pulling me over to Xbox, at least yet, is just so far out of the realm of possibility that that's why I'm going with PlayStation 5. And I think a lot of other PlayStation fans are with me. It's really interesting to see the back and forth on Twitter and all the crazy console wars conversation, because all of the issues that Xbox supporters seem to bring up about PlayStation, namely the lack of backwards compatibility back to PlayStation 3 and 2 and 1, and even on PlayStation 4 there are certain games that aren't going to be backwards compatible, and then even the ability to play PlayStation 5 games on your PlayStation 4, which to me is like, why? Like I can't even imagine why I would think that would be an ability. Like who would play their PlayStation 5 game on their PlayStation 4? Like it doesn't, like, it's a next gen game. It's a next gen console. I just don't understand. Like, the thought would never even have crossed my mind. But apparently, Series X games can be played on an Xbox One. I think that's what I heard, which is very shocking to me. I mean, Nintendo, PlayStation, like every other console ever, you move up to the new console, you're not going to be playing those new console games on your old console. That seems very odd to me. So, going back to the point about Twitter conversations, I see these guys going back and forth about backwards compatibility and acting like it's this big, amazing selling feature, but I do not think a single PlayStation fan is that heartbroken about it. I mean, I'm sure there are some who would love to play their old PlayStation 3 games on their PlayStation 5 for whatever nostalgic reasons, but honestly, like, everyone who's grown with PlayStation, I think, wants PlayStation to keep growing the same way. I've had no issues with it. And I look forward to playing new next-gen console games on my next-gen console. That's it. That's all I look forward to. Like, the idea of playing any other kind of games on my next-gen console just never even crossed my mind. Like, I have my PlayStation 4. I'm going to have it still. my PlayStation 4 Pro. So why do I need to play older games on my PlayStation 5? And why would I want to play new games on my old console? Like, come on, people. Come on. Like, I don't understand it. Maybe you can let me know. Leave a comment in the comments section if I'm crazy. I understand it if you really just are like tight for cash and maybe you don't want to own several consoles. I get it. I mean, I would never own more than 2 at a time. I'll probably eventually sell my PS4 Pro a few years down the line. I don't know. We'll see. But it works pretty well as far as like YouTube and Netflix and watching stuff. And, you know, maybe my kid will want to play PlayStation 4 down the line. So I'll probably hold on to it for a while. It's all good. I have no hate for Xbox. I think they have a lot of cool things going on. Game Pass is definitely awesome. Game Pass is pretty revolutionary. I will have it on my new PC for sure. But I guess if you are looking at consoles and you want to have crazy game selection and your consoles are your only option for whatever reason, you're limited and you don't want to or you're unable to buy a PC, then maybe Game Pass could be a selling feature to have that on your Xbox, sure. So that's what I see. It's like a kind of a services and functionality sales that Xbox seems to be going for, whereas PlayStation 5 is really leaning hard into the gaming and the quality of the gaming that they're going to provide. Load times are going to be next to nothing, and the graphics are going to be next level, no question, right? So that's beautiful. PlayStation 5 for the win, as far as I'm concerned. That's it. Do me a favor and hit that like button and smash that subscribe, and let's grow together.